Well, it's Championship Sunday, and what did we learn last week? Well, we were 3-1 against the spread, as well as a 2-2 record as far as picking the games. And what we learned was that sometimes it's okay to go with your heart. Thank you, Joe Shiesty and Ja'Marr Chase, because the Bengals are in the AFC Championship today, and at least all of us fans whose teams have been eliminated have someone to back. I think, if you don't have a horse in this race, I think you should be backing the Bengals, because why not? The underdog of all underdogs, a team that's at least a year, if not years, ahead of schedule, got a chance to do something big, slay the biggest dragon the NFL has had, not counting Tom Brady, in the Chiefs, who have been here for the fourth time in a row now, maybe the third straight Super Bowl if they have things their way. We also learned that Aaron Rodgers just does not have enough to get it done against the 49ers. We also learned that 13 seconds is a long time when your quarterback is not Dak Prescott. Holy cow. The one game that we missed both prediction-wise and spread-wise was the Chiefs pulling out a miracle, just snatching a miracle from the clutches of Josh Allen and the Bills. Quite possibly the greatest postseason game that I've witnessed with my own eyes that didn't include my own favorite team. So that Andrew Luck 30-plus point comeback against the Chiefs wasn't too bad. That's all I'm saying. So the Chiefs follow last week's greatest playoff game ever, and they get to have a date with the Bengals, whom they had possibly the greatest regular season game of the 21 NFL regular season. By far, the Bengals-Chiefs had maybe the best game of the year. So, we've got a lot to look forward to. We learned a few things. What will they teach us for this week? Let's start, of course, where we've already been, with the Bengals at Kansas City today at 3 p.m. The spread has the Chiefs getting a negative 7.5. Sorry, has the Bengals getting 7.5 points, taking 7.5 from the Chiefs. The over-under is 54.5. Why are the Bengals so disrespected against a team that they've beat earlier this year? I don't know, to be honest with you. Spoiler alert, I will take the Bengals for this spread today. Absolutely. I have faith. I believe this is going to be a very close game. I don't think the Chiefs will stretch the Bengals by any stretch. What Ja'Marr Chase did against the Chiefs in the regular season was insane, and I do not think that defense is any more equipped today to slow down this Bengals passing attack than it was a month ago. The Bengals are going to get whatever they want offensively as long as they get rid of the ball within 3 seconds. They're going to give up some sacks. If Joe can not cough up the ball and sort of protect his O-line the way that he has all season, then I think this Bengals offense will score and score aplenty. The problem is that the Chiefs, who have not been the down-the-field big chunk offense that we're used to, they seem to find a way to pull those plays out late in games, even when they're just a grinded-out running team for the first 3.5 quarters. They seem to be able to turn that switch again, and that is very concerning for the rest of the league. So what do we have here? When it comes down to it, my heart once again is fully invested into the Bengals, but my head says the Chiefs. I believe the Bengals beat the spread, but I believe the Chiefs, unfortunately, for us underdog fans, will be making it to their third straight Super Bowl. Well, let's get to happier news. With our 6:30 game, the 6th-seeded San Francisco 49ers are in LA to face the 4-seeded Rams. The Rams are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45.5 points. This one will be very interesting. So the Niners are the NFC's Cinderella here, right? I don't think many people expected this team to be here right now, and they have done it without great quarterback play. They have done it almost in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo, who has yet to really have a good playoff performance. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions so far in his playoff career, and they are really going to need him to do more than what he's done if the Niners are going to have a chance to win this one. However, the Niners have succeeded by having one of the most diverse and creative offensive attacks that I've seen in some time, lining Deebo Samuel up in the backfield, doing end arounds, clever screens to George Kittle. I mean, they are finally getting a little bit out of Brandon Ayuk, which is huge. But Deebo Samuel he's been the Superman for this team. He has called his shot on long running touchdowns and just been everything that this team has needed. And he's going to have to do it at least one more time if the Niners are going to get back to the Super Bowl. Now, the Rams, I think, might be another kind of a surprising a NFC championship contender here. I'm very surprised at this matchup. We have a 4 seed and a 6 seed. That tells you about as much as you need to know, but this is a team with a lot of veterans. There's a good mix. Yes, of course, we know that guys like Odell and Stafford have not gotten it done prior to this year and in any capacity, and we know that Aaron Donald hasn't won a big one yet, but we've got Von Miller over here. We've got other players on this roster, a good mix of veterans, some with championship experience, some without. You have Cooper Kupp, who despite the revolving door of secondary targets that have come through LA, has just been one of the most dominant wide receivers we've ever seen. I mean, he's lost Robert Woods. At one point, these guys had Deshaun Jackson back there. Now he's got Odell. Van Jefferson has done a little bit. You know, Tyler Higbee can catch the ball. And still, Cooper Kupp, despite all of these weapons, just paced the league in receiving and will likely have a big impact on today's game. I think this whole matchup comes down to the quarterback play because while Matthew Stafford is the better quarterback, he is going to have to limit his mistakes and maybe put the team on his back in the fourth quarter. He has the ability to do that. Let's not act like you wouldn't trust Stafford to lead a comeback drive. What concerns me, and what a lot of Lions fans will tell you, is some of Matthew Stafford's greatest comebacks were him bailing his team out of jams that he got them into with his poor decision making early on. So if he can keep that limited and the Rams can continue to get more out of their running game and have a balanced attack, and I think Stafford should really have a great game here. Like, this could be sort of the Matt Stafford coming out party. Now, conversely, Jimmy G's going to need it to be. This needs to be a career-defining performance for one of these two in order for the winner to have a chance in the Super Bowl. Jimmy G has been here and failed. His team has seemingly gotten here despite him, not once maybe, but twice, and he has that poor Super Bowl performance that he has to rise above, but Matthew Stafford as well, known as a bit of an underperformer at times in these big situations. So who's it going to be? Who is going to step up and lead their team onto the promised land? It's much like our previous situation. Now, I would love nothing more than to see the San Francisco 49ers pull out this win, mainly because when looking at all of the possible storylines for the Super Bowl, my favorite is the sort of soft reboot, the Part 3, Niners-Bengals Part 3, 30-something years later. But we'll get back to that momentarily. My heart says San Francisco. My head says LA. Exact same pick here, okay? The spread is 3.5. I've got the Niners beating the spread as the Rams will win by 3 points. It's going to be a close one. Maybe it'll come down to another last-second field goal, but the Rams are going to do it most likely. I hope that it's the Niners, but this isn't about hope. This is about me getting it right so I can brag about how right I got it. Now, the fortunate thing for us football fans, at least us casuals, if you're a fan of one of these four teams and your team ultimately doesn't make it to play in the Super Bowl, there's probably not going to be a lot that is going to get you to have a rooting interest in said Super Bowl. Maybe you'll just root for whoever beat your team so you can say, hey, at least we lost to the champs. But for us objective fans, for those of us whose teams, I don't know, maybe lost to the worst team in football in Week 18, thus removing themselves from the AFC playoff race, those of us are fortunate because regardless of your matchup, you're going to have something interesting here, whether it be Kansas City and San Francisco in a rematch of a Super Bowl from a few years ago, whether it be Kansas City and LA in the rematch of a regular season game from a few years ago that had a final score of 54-51. Of course, there are some new faces in town, but still a marquee matchup nonetheless. Bengals and LA, the Bengals being here at all is high profile, very big stuff. But then you still would also have LA back-to-back home field advantages in the Super Bowl. That's crazy. It's something that didn't happen for 60 years, and all of a sudden it happened 2 years in a row. I would say that last one is the weakest of the four, but it's still not bad. To me, the strongest of the four, which has been spoiled, is our reboot, our requel, if you will. The Niners and the Bengals will have played 3 times if this is the matchup that we get. If the Bengals and the Niners both win, it'll be Part 3. We had Part 1 in 81, Part 2 in 87, and in an age where films like Halloween, Kills, and Scream 5 are coming out as these soft reboots that are sequel reboots, I think this is perfect. What better? How much more meta can you get than a Bengals 49ers Super Bowl this year? Let's lock it in, folks. That's what we want. Again, that is the heart. The head says the exact opposite. So let's root for the heart. I will take the hit on my overall record for the playoffs. And let's see you after the games. Good luck out there.